tonight's class is gonna be called "The Sin of Vanity." All right, the sin of vanity. And now, this is inspired, and we're gonna play the clip. This is inspired by a movie. Don't laugh at me. I know I'm young. Some of y'all, it's like, you just now seeing it. I just watched The Devil's Advocate the other day for the first time. Yeah, I'm young, right? That's it. All praise to the Most High. So I just seen the movie, right? And it struck me at the end of the speech that Al Pacino had gave. Milton, whatever the hell his character. Play that clip real quick. So just the background leading up to the clip, if you haven't seen the movie, and without giving like a spoiler alert, well, I guess it is a spoiler alert. Basically, the brother, I'm talking about the brother, Keanu Reeves, the main character, basically became a successful lawyer, and in the process, he basically forsook his wife, her well-being, right? And a part of it was her fault, but that's another topic. But basically, he forsook his wife's well-being to pursue his success, his victories within being a lawyer, and within that, he was compromising his morality. And the devil summed it up into one sin. He accredited all of that to one particular sin. Play that clip real quick.
What did I say to you? What were my words to you? Maybe it was your time to lose. You didn't think so. Lose? I don't lose! I win!
Pause. So they had a conversation, right, during the trial where the devil, well, he didn't know it was the devil at the time, but his boss offered him like, hey, you can abort the case. You know what I'm saying? We can find somebody else to cover it. I know your wife going through it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody take a loss. But this was his response. As you can see, he turned it up, right? He went 0 to 100. Go back a little bit. Play.
Maybe it was your time to lose. You didn't think so. Lose? I don't lose! I win! I win! I'm a lawyer! That's my job! That's what I do! I rest my case. Vanity is definitely my favorite sin. Kevin, it's so basic. Self-love, the all-natural opiate. You know, it's not that you didn't care for Marianne, Kevin. It's just that you were a little bit more involved with someone else. Yourself.
Damn. So it's possible for you to love your neighbor, but just not as yourself. Due to vanity, some vain, you understand, some type, it could be an achievement, accomplishment, a possession that you have, or something that you put in regards to yourself above your neighbor, whether it be your wife, your brother, your sister, your child, etc. Right? So I know we talk about hatred a lot, we talk about envy a lot, we talk about what else we talk about a lot? Lust, right? But we must beware of vanity. All right, that's the devil in the movie. That's the devil's favorite sin. And if you think about it, that's really what it is. That's really what it is. All right, put up that picture. It got the definition of vanity in it with, damn, hold on. There's something else too. Let me see if I might have forgot to send it. Put that on the screen though. Go ahead. Got it? All right, read that.
What does vanity mean? A biblical definition of vanity. Vanity of a person is seen as having excessive estimation overestimation of one's self-abilities, looks, or other attributes that makes them have an excessive belief in their own abilities or attractiveness to others.
Just like the dude in the movie. I don't lose.
Right.
Right? So he felt like he was a top-notch lawyer. He couldn't afford to get any type of blemish on his record as a lawyer by any means, right? If his wife had to suffer to the point where she ended up killing herself, it is what it is. All right? I don't lose. All right? Go ahead.
Perhaps this was the reason that a certain piece of bedroom furniture is called a vanity.
So who is familiar with that piece of furniture, a vanity, right? Have y'all ever asked yourself why it's called that? Not until now, right? So now we finna find out. You're gonna learn today. So perhaps this was the reason why this bedroom furniture is called a vanity. Why? Read.
Because it has a mirror and focuses on the person looking into it. Damn. The Bible has a lot to say about vanity, as we all shall see.
All right, keep reading.
Vanity is an emptiness or uselessness of things. And Solomon wrote more about vanity than any other author in the Bible, and more so in Ecclesiastes, where vanity is mentioned 32 of the 35 times in the Bible.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the book of Ecclesiastes, all right, and we're going to read a lot of the points that Solomon was making. Now, this was at a point in his life after he reached his peak in wisdom, and then he went off into madness and folly, right? But he was able to recover himself to a point to reflect, to know that he basically wasted his time dealing with the madness and folly, right? But we're going to go into that book real quick. Well, not real quick, but over the course of this class. But I think I wanted to, pull up. No, I'm going to wait on that. Yeah. All right. So all praise to the Most High. Let's go to Psalms chapter 39 and verse 5. Psalms chapter 39, verse 5. About vanity. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 39 and verse 5. Behold, thou hast made my days as an handbreadth, and mine age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity.
Read
Selah.
that bottom part again.
Verily, every man at his best state.
Every man at his best state. When you work so hard to get to this certain level, to get to this certain level of prestige and honor and mystique, is that a word? Is that a befitting word for that? Mystique. You work so hard to get to this certain level. God says you at your best state is vanity. Because this will be happening. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8. Matter of fact, is that the one I want? I want that one and the one in Galatians. For 1 Corinthians 8, verse 2.
1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 2. And if any man think that he knoweth anything.
If you think that you know anything.
He knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know.
That proves that you haven't learned nothing yet. When you think you know something, that's the point that that's the realization that you haven't learned nothing yet in this truth. Now watch this. Galatians chapter 6. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 3.
Galatians chapter 6 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceive himself.
Right. When you think that you're something, when you're nothing, you just a vessel that the Lord chose to. And it wasn't anything that you did to be worthy of this. It was just the Lord called you, the Lord's favor. He could have predestined you to be a Christian pastor or something, right? He could have predestinated you to be a feminist. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. One of these people that you be laughing at or look down on or something. That could have been you. Damn. But the Lord had favor and put it on your spirit to be able to receive this word and come into this truth to be used as a vessel for his ministry. So you're nothing. You are a part of the body of Christ. and that's what makes you relevant. But the moment where you think that you're something, that's when you're separating yourself from the body of Christ. And the Lord will cut you off accordingly. So you got to be very, very mindful. All right, Romans chapter 12. Romans 12 and 3.
The book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think.
Take heed and beware of vanity. Don't think of yourself more highly than you ought to think. Remember the definition that he gave. Excessive, what did it say? Excessive something in one's own abilities, achievements, or whatever the case. Right? You are excessively invested in you, in yourself. God said, don't think of yourself too highly than you ought to think. Right? You got to be humble. Watch this. Read on.
But to think soberly,
Uh-huh.
according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith.
Read.
For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office,
Uh-huh.
so we being many are one body in Christ.
Or what?
One body in Christ.
We are one body in Christ. So when you think when you think yourself too highly than you ought to think, you think you better than the next person. But we all are part of the same body. We all got one head, which is Christ. Right? So you put yourself in a very dangerous position when you get puffed up, when you start to think too highly of yourself. All right, now let's go to Ecclesiastes now. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 2. Like I said, we're going to go into the book what Solomon wrote, the points that he was making, and we're going to support those points with different things, Lord is willing. All right, read what you got.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 2. Vanity of vanities, said the preacher. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity.
Read.
What profit had a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun?
Right. So we can split this two ways, right? Now, our people in the world in general has an issue with vanity. If not that being the most major issue. Hold that real quick. Get 2 Timothy chapter 3. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. About what the Lord said about these last days, how the people would be. Read that.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1.
Come on.
This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
There you go. Vanity. That's the first thing it mentioned about the last days. People going to be lovers of their own selves. They going to be caught up in themselves. And like I said, that's what the world, but a lot of us coming out of the world, that's the spirit that we deal with. We are very much caught up in ourselves, all right? In our personal lives, our personal achievements, individualism. You understand? Now, let's look that up. I know that's a word, that's a term. Can we look up individualism? Put that on the screen. And I'm gonna say some examples. You might hurt some of y'all. Read that.
Individualism is the moral stance, political philosophy, ideology, and social outlook that emphasizes the intrinsic worth of the individual. Individualists promote realizing one's goals and desires, valuing independence and self-reliance, and advocating that the interests of the individual should gain precedence over the state or a social group, while opposing external interference upon one's own interests by society or institutions, such as the government.
So I know it's a lot of big words and that was a long sentence, but that just embodied the nigga in America. And let me explain what I mean by that. So a lot of people, like, for example, and shout out to my cousin, I got to get your ass now. So, for example, right? A lot of people, we try to teach the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it makes sense at first until they start to examine and weigh the fact or the sacrifices that they would have to make, right? The people that had to cut off, the pleasures that they would have to deaden, you know, whatever the case. And then they start to conjure up different ideas and ideologies and philosophy, like it said in the thing, to support the fact that they just simply do not want to serve God in their people, right? So what I'm saying, okay, just an example. Teach my cousin the truth or whatever. I'm trying to make the point that the realest thing that you could be is like Christ. Christ came into the earth and he sacrificed his life for his people, right? His counter to that was, man, look, bro. Well, I ain't even gonna say counter, just the conclusion after all the back and forth. Man, look, listen, I stand on what I stand on. I'm real. I do me. I do the. Can't nobody say I'm this and I'm not or whatever. At the end of the day, you know, I wasn't back there with the civil rights. I wasn't back there with the slaves. You know what I'm saying? My life is my life, how I live it. Everybody just need to live their life to the best of their ability, and what's for me might not be what's for you. You know, all that, the philosophy and rhetoric or whatever the case may be, that's basically opposing external interference, right? Meaning I cannot compromise. I'm not going to compromise what I want to do and how I want to live my life, because God know my heart, right? I'm not going to let a book or a set of rules or some type of mission to gather other people or whatever the case stop me from doing, because God know I'm genuine, right? It's an individual. Christianity has produced individualism amongst our people, because Psalms 83, get that real quick, Psalms 83 verse 3. This is what the white man was able to do with religion to our people. All right, read that.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 3.
Come on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us do what?
Cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from being a nation. This is the thing, right? Yes, you have individuals all throughout the planet. The difference between a Chinese individual, an Arab individual, a Canadian individual, a French individual, and the damn nigga in America is that those individuals have a nation to go back to. You understand? They have a nation to stand for, to represent. Niggas don't have nothing but white Jesus. You understand? That's all they got. That's a result of the crafty counsel that the white man took upon us in slavery. Let us cut them off from being a nation. If they're no longer a nation, they will not be nation-minded, but they will be individualistic, every man for himself. And if it's every man for himself, the best thing you can do in that situation is invest as much energy and thought and effort into yourself and nobody else. You understand? Thus, the massive consumption of vanity amongst our people. So now go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Ecclesiastes 1, read verse 3 again.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
What profit hath a man of all his labor, which he taketh under the sun?
Right. So what profit hath the man of all his labor, which he taketh under the sun? Watch this. Go to Luke chapter 9. Luke chapter 9, verse 25. So everybody, it was decreed when Adam sinned that everybody got to work. All right. Especially the men. By the sweat of your brow shall ye eat bread, in order to provide the necessities in life. So we all got to work. But a lot of people, they work very hard to go beyond just providing the necessities. You know what I'm saying? They work hard to achieve reputations. And there's nothing wrong with establishing a good reputation in the work world or the business world or whatever. I'm not saying that. But a lot of dudes work day in and day out some niggas don't work it out. Some dudes is bums. But some dudes work real hard to get to a certain status, a level of status in this world. But let's see what Christ said. Read that.
Luke chapter 9, verse 25.
Go ahead.
For what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away?
So it say, what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself? Right? Think about that clip that we played. Right? The dude, he was good. He had like a little drop top. He had a nice condo in Florida where he was a lawyer at first. And him and his wife was happy. He had a decent life and an undefeated record. Right? He get a check that he couldn't refuse. Brought his wife to New York where he didn't know nobody. What did it say? A sheep in the midst of wolves.
Yeah. That's what his mama told him.
Yeah, because that's what the devil told her.
Right.
But anyway, he went and did that and lost himself in the process.
His wife too.
Lost his wife. You know what I'm saying? Lost his damn mind. And that's why you see people change, people become weird, people become different. You know what I'm saying? Over the course of life, when I'm trying to achieve a certain level of status in this world. This world is meant to consume your spirit. That's why it's so tied to the flesh. You understand? It's meant to consume your spirit. It's meant for you to lose your spirit, lose your soul. That's why you have to do that. You have to sell your soul to become something in this world. All right? That's why Christ said, what advantage is that? That's not an advantage at all. All right? Read that verse again.
For what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away?
Or be cast away. Imagine this, right? You want to be a black PhD doctor, such and such, the first man to do this or whatever the case may be, right? And you make it all the way to the day where you finally get your name on that piece of paper that means so much to you. And a damn plane crash where you at. Or you get in the car and you total your car, you die. You know what I'm saying? Or you get paralyzed from the waist down. You know what I'm saying? All of these things happen I know it sounds like an anomaly or whatever. That's a word, right? I know it sounds like an anomaly, but this really be happening on a daily basis. People get struck by lightning too. Y'all know that, right? For real, that can happen to you. And guess what? God talks about that. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12.
Go ahead.
For man also knoweth his time, as the fishes that are taken.
Now read again.
For man also knoweth not his time.
Thank you. Man knoweth not his time. Go ahead.
As the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them.
So do you ever think about that? Like, out of all days, you know what I'm saying? This is the day that I decided to get my fish bait and get my fishing rod and go out here and try to catch some damn fish, and you catch one. Like, have y'all ever seen the episode of SpongeBob when the fish hooks was dropping down? And they thought it was fun to get on the hook and then jump off, but some of them get caught up. You ever think like, damn, like this is the end of his days. Like he had a family. You know what I'm saying? This fish was living a good old life and he fucked around and bit this damn hook and now he fooled.
Damn.
You ever thought about that? God said, as fishes are taken in a net, that's how we is in this life. You'll be living your day-to-day life thinking you got it going on, and then bam, you're dead, you're gone.
Damn.
For real. That's why it don't really make sense to get caught up in this life. You just got to be confident that the stuff that's happening on a daily basis with a lot of other people in this world just ain't going to happen to you. That got to be your daily confidence, which is ignorant. You understand? So we got to be mindful. It really is not logical to be caught up in this world because you never know. You never know when that hooker drop for you. All right? Now watch this. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 1. This might be one of the heaviest points concerning vanity right here. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 8.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 8. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing.
That's the jacked up part about this world, right? You will never learn enough, right? You want to go so hard to get this knowledge, and yeah, I know this or whatever, but it's always going to be more. You can get this and obtain that and possess this and buy that, but there's always going to be more. Think about you work so hard to buy a certain car. You know what I'm saying? Like a Bugatti or something. And then that be the year they changed up the whole style of the body and they dropped the 2024 and it's the next level. And you done already cashed out on the 23. And the 23 look, it's the same model as the 13 on up, just with some little kinks here and there. But the 24 was the one that they did all the way different.
Right.
But you done cashed out on the 23. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna be sick, bro.
You're gonna be sick. That's how it is in this world. It's always gonna be something more, something better. You will never be satisfied. Go to Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 20. Proverbs 27 and 20.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 20.
Come on.
Hell and destruction are never full.
You gotta think. All of these years on earth, some people argue that it's been millions. Some people argue it's been like 150,000. Some people just go by the Bible, like 6,000, right? We really don't know because the concept of time and all that is really new anyway in terms of humankind. We really don't know how long the earth been here. He told Adam, replenish the earth. Yeah. We don't know how old this earth is. But however the hell old it is, it never became full of graves and dead bodies. Think about that. All the damn people that have been buried over these these millennia, the earth has never been full. You never put a shovel in the ground like, damn, that's a... You see what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Hell and destruction is never full. Watch this.
So the eyes of a man are never satisfied.
So just like the earth never became overcapacitated with dead bodies, the eyes of man are never full, never satisfied. You can never have enough. You will never fulfill your fleshly appetite. You will for a time, temporarily, but there's always going to be something more, something better that comes along. Now you have another desire, something else you're chasing after. You understand? For real, and that's vanity. Go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 10.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 10. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity.
So God is keep giving you the game. If you love, this is for the people that love it. Because if you don't love it, you can reach a level of satisfaction.
Right.
But if you do love it, you will not be satisfied. You will not be satisfied with any amount of silver. If you love abundance, you will never be satisfied with any amount of increase. Why? Because you can always increase. You love increase, and there's always room to increase. Guess what? You're going to keep trying to increase. You never going to be satisfied. Go ahead.
When goods increase, they are increased that eat them.
Now read the bottom part, verse 10 again.
Verse
read
10.
The whole verse.
Okay. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity.
This is also what?
Vanity.
This is also vanity. Get Sirach 14, verse 9. Sirach chapter 14 and verse 9.
Sirach chapter 14, verse 9. A covetous man's eye.
A money-hungry person that loves silver, love abundance. His eye, go ahead.
Is not satisfied with his portion.
It's not satisfied with his portion. He'll get to a certain level, and then he say, damn, if I hit 1 million, I can hit 100 million. I had 100 million, I can hit 1 billion. I had 1 billion, I can hit 1 trillion. You just gonna keep going and going and going. And think about all that money, right? I meant to pull this a second ago. Go to Revelation chapter 3. Let's go back to that individualism mindset. Revelation chapter 3, verse 17.
Revelation chapter 3 and verse 17.
Go ahead.
Because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods.
So this is what people like Oprah say. People like Tyler Perry. You understand? They say that they rich and they increase with goods. Read.
And have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked.
So how can you say that you rich and you got goods and God said, your ass ratchet? You poor, you broke.
Man.
What is that saying? What is God letting you know? You can never rise above the state of your people. But when you got that individualism mindset, you going to say stuff like that. You good. But think about all the kids in your neighborhood, of your community. You understand? Think about all of, I ain't even going to say community because you didn't join the white man community. But where you come from originally, right? Those various family trees and people that you knew, people that you came up with, your relatives, your friends, cousins, uncles. What about their schools? What about the hospitals there? What about the banks there? What about the jobs there? Nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is your individual status. You understand? You haven't changed anything. So if you came from being miserable, wretched, and poor and all that, you still is. Because you haven't changed nothing for your people. All right? Now, play that clip real quick. This is going back to the point about never being satisfied. This is just an example. All right? Play that clip.
How much money is enough money?
$36 million.
36.
When you have $36 million in the bank, there is absolutely nothing that you can't do or basically buy. And you can go to the best hotels, you can go to the best places, you can rent planes and boats, you don't need to buy one, you can buy the best cars. Your kids are secure, you can make sure with clever investments you're earning enough per month to live a very good life. A good life costs about $500,000 a month, you can do that. I spend between $500,000 and $1 million a month on life. That's how much it costs to live a good life. If you want to have staff, look after all your supercars, have your cars moved around the world, fly on private jets all the time, stay in hotels, eat in nice rooms, eat out every day, not have to ever cook. By the time you add it all up, it's about $500,000 to $1 million a month.
How much money is enough money?
So
36
here's the
million.
thing. This is the point. Can everybody be a $36 million millionaire? So that means majority of everybody will never live a good life. You understand? To live a good life, you have to have $36 million and know how to invest it, because he threw that in there too. Your investments gotta be at a certain level and you gotta have this and this and that. Well, what happens with inflation? What happens with when your investments crash, the markets crash or whatever, your stuff gets seized, somebody steal from you. You understand? Get that real quick in Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6, what that is, 19? Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
Where thieves break through and steal. So all of these things are, what's the word? Perishable. That $36 million is perishable in a literal sense, like it could be lost, it could be stolen, right? Or the 36 million, what they say, what's the thing? Is it bars? Brazil? No, BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China. What was the S? BRICS. They said they're trying to make the value of $1, basically what you can buy with $1 now, is going to take $55 to buy it. So what happens to the 36 million? You have to, that 36 million becomes whatever 36 million is divided by 55. What is that?
Shit, probably about 10.
36 million divided by 55. That's less than a million. I know that. That's 700,000.
Damn.
So 650. Your 36 million can become 654,000 with one wrong move by America.
Overnight.
For real. For real. But that's what we can get caught up in. You know how many young men watch that clip and was like, "I don't get these 36 million." You understand? For real. So now, go to Ecclesiastes 2:1. Ecclesiastes 2 verse 1.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2 and verse 1. I said in mine heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore, enjoy pleasure. And behold, this also is vanity.
Right. So think about the stuff that he just said in the clip, right? You get a bunch of nice cars and you get the trials and the best hotel, all that, right? So Solomon said, now that the Lord has blessed me with all these riches, let me do this. Let me go and prove my heart with joy and pleasure and see how that goes. And he went and did it, and he came to the conclusion that it was vanity. And he going to go into detail in a second. But before we do that, go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and
so
tedious.
So a synonym for the ungodly is unwise. So this is how the unwise think. They reason in themselves, but not aright. Read.
Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been.
So is that true? No. Right? We understand that spiritually speaking, we have an afterlife. We're going to be judged for everything we did in this body, and we're going to get to that later. Right? But this is how the ungodly, the unwise think. You only got one life. That's the motto, good YOLO. That's what Drake said when I was in the 9th grade, I think. Yeah. I did not like that song. Everybody walk around singing. I was like, man, that shit whack, bro. You only did one thing, man. Whack. But that was a movement. That was a pound sign. YOLO. Read.
For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart.
Jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away.
We don't got long here on this earth, right? We gotta, I want to drive a Lamborghini one day. You understand? I want to dive from the top of the Grand Canyon one day. His life is short. I don't want to die without having done these things. Read.
And after our end, there is no returning.
Come on.
For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present.
Let us enjoy the good things that are present. And this mindset, this is what caused a lot of people to fall out of this truth. This would destroy a lot of souls. Get that real quick in 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 10.
the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 10. For Demas hath forsaken me, having loved this present world.
Having loved what?
Having loved this present world.
So what's the operative word in that I want? I know y'all got a mic in the crowd, right? What's the operative word in the verse we just read? Anybody? All right, Kakeem, go ahead. Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say loved.
No.
Present world.
That's 2 words.
Is it forsaken?
No.
No.
Kakeem.
World. Present world.
That's 2 words. What's wrong?
Present.
Yes. So in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, it says, come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present. And in 2 Timothy, it said, Demas forsook the truth, loving this present world. It's so, remember what we read in chapter 1? The eye is not satisfied with seeing. It's so many things out here in this world that you never did. Can't nobody say that they've been through everything. It's a whole different side of the spectrum from whatever life that you lived. For real, if you was a gangster in the street, you got shot, stabbed, robbed, and you shot, stabbed, and robbed people, and you been to jail, and you was in the streets, and you went to school, and guess what? It's somebody on a whole other side of the spectrum that got every award, won all type of academic trophies, and got sent here, and this type of scholar, and this and that. You understand? Then everything on the opposite side of the spectrum. You cannot say that you've been through you don't know how it feel to get the highest score on the IQ test. You understand? You don't know how it feel to get invited to Harvard when you 15. You ain't been through that. You ain't been through that pressure. You know what I'm saying? Having to live up to your academic reputation, right? But your crush just rejected you the day before. So now you distracted taking this test. You ain't been through that, nigga. For real, nobody can say that they've been through everything or seen everything. It's not possible. Right? So when your mind is set on this present world, you like, damn, it's so much to do. It's so much. And we going to the school and going to camp and you know what I'm saying? It's so much other stuff I can be doing. And them type of people, they lead us truth. All right, go back to where we was at. Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse 6.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 6. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Mm-hmm. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us.
So it says, let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments. Let me ask this, right? Why do women wear perfume and why do men wear cologne? It's just a simple question. Kakeem.
No. To smell good and attract the opposite sex.
To smell good and attract the opposite sex. Okay, go simplify it.
Attention.
That's okay. Somebody else. That's right.
David, no.
It's simple. It's not that hard. I don't want nothing wicked. Everybody mind went in the gutter trying to fornicate. No.
Come on, man.
Scott Kim is right, but I want to say it a different way. Why do men and women wear perfume and cologne? Nobody knows? All right, David.
Yeah, so don't nobody say they stink. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta smell good.
So can you not wear cologne and don't stink?
Yeah.
So what the hell are you talking about? So why do you wear cologne? Keep it real.
Vanity.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Like, look, you can be straight. You take a bath with some deodorant, but you just trying to go all the way out. You know what I'm saying? For no reason to smell extra good for nobody but yourself.
I'm gonna simplify it. You want people to know that you smell good. It's intention, but I wanted to say it like that. Like, you want people to ask you, like, damn, what that is. You understand? You want people to inquire how you smell. You don't just want people to know that you don't stink. You want people to know that you smell good. How do I know this? Because who consumed a bottle of cologne or perfume like while on quarantine, like at the house? You gonna waste your whole bottle of cologne just walking around from the kitchen to the living room?
Hell no.
You wear that to go out into the public, you understand, for the purpose of social interaction. So when you meet somebody, they smell you and you smell good. So you want them to have the knowledge of how you smell. Do God give a damn about my Vince Camuto cologne? That's a big word. See, I wanted y'all to know. Look, the vanity. You see what I'm saying? So when you take on that mindset, or you want to be, you invest yourself into this world, you pursue, like, you into that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You become a cologne, perfume connoisseur. For real. And what else it say? Let us fill ourselves with costly what?
Costly wine.
Costly what?
Costly wine.
Costly wine. The same thing. What's the difference between Hennessy, VSOP, and Hennessy? Just keep it real. What's the difference? Get the mic.
Just a name.
Okay, that's not true. The VSOP, it's a high, look, that was kind of a trick question. It's higher quality. It tastes better, right? But in reality, a lot of times, we become a connoisseur of these different alcohols with these different names and stuff because we want to make conversation out of it. You know what I'm saying? This is what I got, and have you tasted this yet? And this and this and this cold such and such, or whatever the case. You understand? And guess what? That impresses the ladies. For real. Like what we reading, this talking about the people in the world that want to go to the club and party and all of that. Guess what? I got what the rapper had mentioned in his song in my section. Come on. For real. He don't give a damn. He didn't look at the back to see the ingredients and, oh, yeah, that herb right there is actually good for your inner liver. You know, with the twins be knowing this. 99% of niggas don't know what they be knowing about liquor. For real. They don't care. They just care about the name, the brand, the cost, and that they got it, that they off of it. Because at the end of the day, you just trying to get the feeling from it, the intoxication from it. It don't matter what it is. Some do taste better. Some people got their preferences with taste, right? But it's the reason why it says costly wine. The costly wine is the vanity of it. Now watch this. Keep reading.
Verse 8. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered.
Read.
Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this.
Right. So let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. And you know, the world ain't got to the point where you, majority of the time, you not really going somewhere to enjoy the place. You going there to capture the fact that you was there. You want people to know that you was there. You understand? I want to have an Instagram post in Spain. It's somebody had, it was either a skit or it was real. It might have been on a movie. It's in my head, but it ain't in my head. But it was a woman. She had a background, like a realistic looking background, like in the Bahamas. And like she took a picture and then it like zoomed out and she was in a crib. That was just like a wallpaper. But she posted on her story, on her. And the world thought that she was in Spain or Dubai. But she was in damn San Francisco or something. Or Jacksonville, Arkansas. Who knows? But that's the vantage. Once you get that mindset, like I want to enjoy this world and all, you're going to get caught up in all these vain things that don't matter. All right? God don't give a damn about what brand of wine you was drinking. He said, look, wine is the joyfulness, and whichever one fits your taste buds or whatever, do you. But he not, yeah, Lord, I was off this BSOP. Shut your ass up. You lucky I ain't judging you for that one time you drank too damn much. All right, but anyway, where we at? All right, go back to Ecclesiastes 2, verse 2 now.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in mine heart to give myself unto wine.
So he became a wine connoisseur. Go ahead.
Yet acquainting mine heart with wisdom.
But, you know, I didn't become an idiot. I didn't become strung out on it. Go ahead.
And to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life.
Right. So Solomon decided, he said, all of these different entertainments that men are into, I'm going to indulge in those things to see what I can subscribe and say, every man should do this. Every woman should do this. So he literally got himself into everything, all manners of folly, just for him to evaluate and say, okay, this is what I think men should be doing. Go ahead.
I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards.
So he said, I made me great works. I built me houses. I planted me vineyards. Go ahead.
I made me gardens and orchards. And I planted trees in them of all kind of fruits.
Read.
I made me pools of water, to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me.
Right. So with the Rick Ross, I'm the biggest boast that you've seen thus far. That was Solomon. All right, go ahead.
I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces.
So the peculiar treasure is the different stones and emeralds and stuff that you niggas don't know about. Not talking about what they call the BBs and all that. They going to war in other countries over what is saying about Sarfinks and Topaz and all of that. Solomon had all that. Go ahead.
I gat me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men as musical instruments.
So Solomon had the best record label on the planet. Go ahead.
And that of all sorts. So I was great and increased more than all that will be for me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me.
And my wisdom remained with me. Go ahead.
And whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them.
Uh-huh.
I withheld not my heart from any joy.
Everything the world had to offer. Go ahead.
For my heart rejoiced in all my labor.
Uh-huh.
And this was my portion of all my labor.
Read.
Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought.
So I looked on the vineyards, the buildings, the pools, the servants, the diamonds, the everything. I looked on all my works. Go ahead.
And on the labor that I had labored to do.
Uh-huh.
And behold, all was vanity and vexation.
All was what?
All was vanity and vexation of spirit.
So think about it, right? Now, if you come to me and you be like, man, I built 5 houses. Like, damn, bro, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that when you die, who knows what's going to happen to the 5 houses? You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, it could be Walmart 20 years from now. Who knows? Right? But if you're a vain person, you live for that. Damn, bro, that what's up, man. You build a house. Hey, man, this nigga over here build a house. When you vain, you live for that. So Solomon, he's observing and all that. He's like, all this stuff is good to have done. But with the wisdom that I have, I understand that none of this means anything. This is vanity. This is vexation of spirit. And we gonna learn in a little bit why it vexed Solomon's spirit so much that he obtained all of these great things and possessions. But with the wisdom that he knew, he was discerning like, okay, yeah, I did this. I'm great. I'm woo. But this is vanity. This is nothing. How many of y'all seen a picture of one of Solomon's pools? Somebody drunk some wine from Solomon Vineyard? One of y'all met the descendants of one of his servants? What, y'all see one of the peculiar stones that he had in his possession? All right, now watch this. Go to read verse 14 real quick. Which I had on the screen. All right, read verse 14. Watch this.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
The wise man's eyes are in his head,
Uh-huh.
but the fool walketh in darkness.
But the fool walketh in darkness. He only worried about the things of this world. That's all he's consumed with, and it's going to consume him. He don't realize what's truly before him. Go ahead.
And I myself perceived also that one event happeneth to them all. Then said I in my heart,
Uh-huh.
as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me.
So wait a minute. So it's a difference between a wise man and a fool, right? It's a difference between a scholar and a bum, right? So look at what Solomon is saying. I said in my heart, as it happened to the fool, go ahead.
So it happeneth even to me.
The same thing will happen to me, read.
And why was I then more wise?
So why was I so wise then? Read.
Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity.
So watch this. Go to Psalms chapter 62 and verse 9. What is Solomon getting at? Psalms chapter 62 and verse 9.
The book of Psalms, chapter 62 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie.
So read that again.
Surely men of low degree are vanity.
So we all know that. If you of low degree, then you ain't nothing. Go ahead.
And men of high degree are a lie.
But men of high degree are no different. Their life is a facade. You understand? Watch this.
To be laid in the balance.
To be laid in the balance.
They are altogether lighter than vanity.
They are lighter than vanity. They are less than nothing. So what is this telling us? somebody, and that's why we read earlier in 1 Corinthians and Galatians 6, just because you learn a lot and you become wise, don't really mean nothing about you. That's a testament to the Lord's wisdom. But he can take that wisdom from you. You understand? You can be that wise and still sin. You can know all the scriptures and still commit adultery and get put out. Like the nigga that came in 6 months. You can do the same thing. Because we ourselves are nothing, no matter what corner degree that we reach in this earth, in this flesh. We are nothing. So Solomon was like, damn, he don't know nothing. I know a lot. But the same event gonna happen to both of us. We both gonna die. We both gonna have funerals. This is vanity. Watch this. Go back to chapter 2. Let's see what else. Chapter 2, verse 18.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, verse 18.
Come on.
Yea, I hated all my labor, which I had taken under the sun.
Why?
Because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me.
So Solomon knew he spent all his life accumulating all this wealth, all these accolades, just to die and leave it in the hands of the next man, meaning his son. Right? Now watch this. Read on.
And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool?
Who can say whether or not your son gonna have the same mentality that you had? Gonna go as hard as you, had the same interests as you, and make the efforts to perpetuate what you accomplished and set in place. Who knows? It's I wish I would have had time to get more clips and stuff, but it's people that they would carry on a legacy like of a corporation for 8 generations, and they'll have a son, and that son will be like, I'm a transgender. I want to strip. So just imagine you got a corporation, you got one son, and it's on his shoulders, and he said, no, I'm not Tristan, I'm Trisha, and I want to strip. I don't want to own this company. I don't want nothing to do with that. And he sell it. And he live off of all them riches that your generation worked so hard to establish. He sell the corporation and live good as a transgender for the rest of his life. Not having done any of the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into the corporation to leave for him to continue. You understand? So Solomon is thinking about this near his, dying years. He like, I don't know if this nigga gonna be a fool, if he gonna be wise. Who knows? This is vexation of spirit. Go ahead.
Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored.
Damn.
And wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity.
This is vanity. I'm telling you, a lot of people, they work super, super hard in their daily life to get to a certain level, a certain status, and they will work till they die just to leave it to somebody who will destroy it in minutes, in days, in weeks. For real. Read.
Therefore, I went about to...
So why would you get caught up in it? That's the point. Why would you get so caught up in doing that, in achieving that type of stuff, just to know that you really don't know what's going to happen after the fact? Read.
Therefore, I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity. Yet to a man that hath not labored therein.
But to a man that have not labored in wisdom and knowledge and equity, somebody who didn't attend to God's laws, read.
Shall he leave it for his portion?
You'll leave it for his portion. Read.
This also is vanity and a great evil.
So let's get there. Go to Sirach chapter 47. Sirach 47 and 13 about Solomon. He was talking about himself. Sirach 47 and verse 13.
The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 47 and verse 13.
Go ahead.
Solomon reigned in a peaceable time and was honored, for God made all quiet round about him, that he might build an house in his name and prepare his sanctuary forever.
So Solomon was the first and last forefather to do that, to build a physical temple. Now you have forefathers come along after him and repair it and rededicate it or whatever, but he was the one that built a sanctuary for the Lord. Right? Read.
How wise wast thou in thy youth?
Come on.
And as a flood filled with understanding. Thy soul covered the whole earth.
And he was influential not because of his fashion sense or what's the stuff niggas be famous for? His comedic ability or whatever. He had influence over the whole earth by his wisdom. Right? Read on.
Thy soul covered the whole earth, and thou filledest it with dark parables.
Read.
Thy name went far unto the islands, and for thy peace thou wast beloved.
Come on.
The countries marveled at thee for thy songs, and proverbs, and parables, and interpretations.
Read.
By the name of the Lord God, which is called the Lord God of Israel, thou didst gather gold as tin, and didst multiply silver as lead.
So that's a hell of a legacy. He built the house for the Lord. He covered the earth with his understanding, with God's wisdom, right? He put songs out that was famous in the world, and he was the richest man in the world. Now read verse 23.
Verse 23. Thus rested Solomon with his fathers.
And he died. He got buried with his fathers. Read.
And of his seed he left behind him Rehoboam.
Now let's see the man that he left all of these things to, that he labored so hard for. Read.
Even the foolishness of the people.
What did he call his son?
Even the foolishness of the people.
It's one thing to, work hard and leave everything you got to your son who's a little slow. I said like that, just a little slow. It called his son the foolishness of the people. He was the most idiotic Israelite in the kingdom. You understand? He was the foolishness of the people. And that's who inherited all of that greatness that Solomon labored for all them years. That's crazy. So Solomon was vexed. He was not feeling that. Go ahead.
And one that had no understanding.
And one that what?
And one that had no understanding.
And verse 14 said that Solomon was as a flood filled with understanding. But the man that he left everything that he had no understanding. This is vanity. Go back to Ecclesiastes. Read chapter 4, verse 8.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 8. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he hath neither child nor brother.
So now this is something worse than Solomon's case. Solomon had a son that he left it to, but his son was an idiot. But there is one that have no child or brother, had nobody in a will. You understand? They can inherit their estate. Read.
Yet is there no end of all his labor.
Right, but he pushed himself, or she pushed herself so hard to get this and get that and obtain this and obtain that. Read.
Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, for whom do I labor?
And he never stopped, or she never stopped and say, who am I doing this for? Right? Go ahead.
And bereave my soul of good. This is also vanity. Yea, it is a sore travail.
Go to chapter 6. Chapter 6, verse 1.
Ecclesiastes, chapter 6, verse 1.
Go ahead.
There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men. A man to whom God hath given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wanteth nothing for his soul, of all that he desireth. Yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof.
Watch this.
But a stranger eateth it.
So if he don't got a son or a brother, no immediate family to inherit what he labored for, who gonna inherit it? The America. Today's time, it's gonna be the America. Read on.
This is vanity, and it is an evil disease.
So this is vanity and an evil disease. Give me the clip about the black woman. It's just an example. All right. Play that clip.
Black men in the comment section saying, oh, you have all these high demands, but what do you bring to the table? Good question. Studies have shown that black women are the highest paid and the most educated. I myself graduated with my associate's degree at 18 and graduated from college with my bachelor's at 20 with a degree in communication sciences with an emphasis in speech and language pathology. I live on my own, have my own car, make about $70,000 a year, and don't have any kids. So I'll never ask for what I can't offer. And as far as what I'm bringing to the table, I bring me, and you can't sit with it.
First off, studies don't reveal any bullshit about black.
Dang, it's a whole lot. So for one, is she living a good life? She a long way from 36 million. She got 73. I make 70,000. What is that? That's poverty. So look. But anyway, she made me want to sidebar for a second. She lied. She said, and this is what people do. They will preface their statement with studies show. But they don't tell you the studies. They don't drop no link. They don't mention nothing. She said studies show that black women are the highest paid and the most educated. Now, somebody watched her say that with her confidence and her, you know what I'm saying? And they believed that and took that and ran with it and told somebody else that shit. That's probably what happened to her. She heard somebody said that it's what says some damn study show. Somebody please, if you can show me a study of the black woman being the highest paid in the United States of America, I will go and jump into the Arkansas River right now. I'm serious, because if that's the case, we are beyond destroyed. We got our woman is the highest paid woman in America, and we at the bottom. We don't got no schools, no hospitals, no banks, no airports, but our women are highest paid? Come on, man. Ain't no way. But that's what vanity will do. You just lie. That nigga just be lying, bro.
Damn, you stupid as hell.
Just to make themselves sound good or look good. She lying her ass off. And they not the most. He gonna debunk all that though, but you can't go back on the short, huh? All right, play on.
Black women being the most educated and the most paid. The average black woman in America makes about 40K, and black women hold the least amount of PhDs, which is actually the metric that determines the most educated. And even if they did, it wouldn't matter because men don't care about incomes or degrees unless it's in how to be a wife. Next, the female cliche, I am the table.
So she said that black women are highest paid and the most educated, and they the exact opposite.
He said 40,000.
Okay, that's below the poverty line, but they have the least amount of PhD, meaning the no good black nigga got more PhDs than her. They are definitely more enrolled. You know what I'm saying? They might have more credits altogether, but the actual paperwork for you to call yourself a doctor is more male black men with the title of doctor than it is black women with the title of doctor. All right, which is the actual metric that's used for that. So she lied to the point of she's the opposite of what she said she is. That's vanity. Damn. Play on.
The table manufactured from the strong and independent women's warehouse from the finest delusions. Now, if she said black women hold the highest degrees in difficulty, undesirability, masculinity, obesity, and single motherhood rates, that would have been accurate.
So many black.
All right. So yeah, but that's our fault though. We be enabling them to be like that. So that's really our fault. All right, where we at? Go to Ecclesiastes 4 and 4. The point is that type of woman that says she do all that, she would never get a man because men don't want that. You don't bring nothing to the table but a mouth, and not the type of mouth that's gonna please me. You understand? That's all you bring to the table, and that type of woman gonna end up with a dog and a flower on her grave. That's it. That's it. So everything that she worked so hard to obtain, her little 70,000 a year or whatever, if she got one of them accounts that what is annuity, if she got any of that, the white man will eat it up. All right. Now watch this. Ecclesiastes 4 and 4.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4 and verse 4.
Come on.
Again, I considered all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor.
Right. So you got people that do good things, right works, right? Like admirable stuff. Not for the intention of making somebody jealous or making somebody mad, but they, for example, like with Cain and Abel, he was trying to please God. That's all he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to make Cain mad. He was trying to please the Lord. And for this, a man is what?
For this, a man is envied of his neighbor.
And that'll cause your brother to envy you. Read it.
This is also vanity and vexation of spirit.
So how is this vanity and vexation of spirit? Let's get an example. 1 Samuel 18 and verse 6. This is a thing, right? If a brother do something, if a brother do a right work, that's supposed to inspire you, motivate you. You understand? Cause you to go in his direction, follow his steps, right? But for you to reach the point of envy, that means that you want his place. So you want to take what he got for yourself. And you essentially want him to perish because he got what you want. All right, read what you got. 1 Samuel 18, verse 6.
1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 6.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music.
So all praise to the Most High. Shout out to the women of Israel. They're very supportive of the prophets, right? The brothers come back from a victory against the Philistines. Lord knows the Philistines was, a rival. So we got the victory. So the women, they cheering, they singing, they dancing. All right, go ahead.
And the women answered one another as they played.
So notice it don't say the people. It emphasizing who is doing this. It's the women. So it say the women answered one another as they played. Go ahead.
And said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s.
You got to sing it like the women.
Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s.
No, see this the thing. Cause I know we read it, right? And it's a one word difference. Saul slain his 1,000, David his 10,000, right? But have you ever heard a black woman sing?
Yes.
It's not just a one word difference.
No.
You understand? It's like you hear a song, it's like you see what I'm saying? So it was more like Saul slain his thousands and David slain his 10. Like you gotta do the thing in their voice when you know how they be like, she ain't singing, she's singing. His 10, the little jet in the voice. And that's what happened. I'm telling you. It wasn't just no one word difference. You know, because you can have dyslexia. Did they say 10? Oh, they might have. No. it was a clear distinction between when they sung the lyric about Saul and the lyric about David. Y'all understand? All right. Go ahead. Come on.
Verse 8. And Saul was very wroth.
And Saul was pissed. Come on.
And the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s. And to me they have ascribed but thousands.
Now, is thousands important? Yeah, so David was Saul was putting in work.
Right.
Just not as much work, but that's just the measure of the spirit that he gave to David. He ain't supposed to feel no type of way about that.
Right.
He supposed to be like, oh, yeah, when next time we go, I'm going to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, David, teach me how you do that little trick with your sword.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he said, they have ascribed to me but thousands. Right. Read.
And what can he have more but the kingdom?
Well, he might as well have the kingdom then. If they going to say he care about the 10,000, I'm just about 1,000, he might as well. Ain't no point in me sitting on the throne no more. That's how them women singing made him feel. Go ahead.
And Saul eyed David from that day and forward.
So, did Saul have a legit reason to feel that way about David? No. So, it was vanity. He wanted the women to sing about him the same way they was singing about David. He wanted to be regarded by the women the same way that David was regarded by the women. That thing is vanity. All right, now watch this. Numbers chapter 11. So if you're in the spirit, this is how you're going to be. This is how you're going to think. Numbers chapter 11 and verse 26.
Numbers chapter 11, verse 26. But there remained two of the men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them. And they were of them that were written, but went not out unto the tabernacle. And they prophesied in the camp. And there ran a young man and told Moses, and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, My Lord Moses, forbid them.
Right. So a young man came and told Moses, like, hey, these two dudes, they out here bringing out the laws and stuff. I thought that was just your job. Then Joshua was like, he thinking he in the spirit. He like, yo, hey, tell them to stop. That's Moses' job. They trying to take Moses' spot or something. Watch what Moses' response was. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto him, Enviest thou for my sake?
What you trying to take? You trying to feel how I'm supposed to feel for me? You understand? You trying to be envy or be mad at them for my sake? Read.
Would God that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit upon them.
So contrary to how Saul felt, Moses like, I don't see no problem with that at all. Hell, I wish everybody had the spirit and could bring it out the same way. For real. That's how Moses felt. He wasn't worried about who was being regarded as who. And you understand? Who looked at who like this or like that. I mean, man, look, it's about the word going out. I would love for everybody to have the wisdom to be able to break down this and that and everything in the Bible so we get the hell up out of here. But a vain person to be like, but I want to be the precept guy. I want people to point at me and be like, oh, yeah, we got to have him around because he going to know all the precepts. Yeah, as long as we got him, we going to be all right at camp. I want them to point at me and say that. I'm tired of them that just pointing at a like and saying that. Cap always talking about he want a like to read for him. Why he don't ever say my name? You know what I'm saying? That's how a vain person to think. When you in the spirit, you be like, Cap got him a reader that he's comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? For real. But anyway, where we at? 2 Samuel 15. 2 Samuel 15, verse 1.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass after this, that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses, and 50 men to run before him. And Absalom rose up early, and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so, that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment,
They came to David for judgment. Read.
then Absalom called unto him, and said, Of what city art thou?
What city you from? Because remember, David was in Zion. That's just one city. Israel was a nation. So people was coming from all different cities in this northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Go ahead.
And he said, Thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel. And Absalom said unto him, See, thy matters are good and right, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee.
Meaning, the way that my dad got it set up, you got to wait on him. He hasn't delegated people to deal with, you know what I'm saying, the matters of the people as they come. You'll have to wait. Right. So he low-key murmuring. All right, go ahead.
Absalom said, Moreover, Oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which hath any suit or cause might come unto me, and I would do him justice.
So we just had that they basically had a little clique, and they was disagreeing with how leadership was operating. And we talking about from years 2018, 2019, 2020, you know what I'm saying, stemming back there. And this thing went on for a while to the point where they started to move. So you gotta watch that. Some people, they really want to better their life, and you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But people be trying to. It just depends. I'm gonna explain. So they was moving, and then telling other brothers to move. Now, like I said, it's one thing to move because you feel like you want to be built up by a deacon. You want to be built up by a high-ranking captain or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But when you get to going to brothers and telling them like, man, look, if you really want to grow, man, come to Dallas. If you really want to grow, come to Austin. So what's really going on is, because at some point they may have wanted to get leadership thrown down and be put in their stead. But whatever endeavor that was, that didn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the men out from under the leader, you understand, and cause him to fall that way, cause the congregation to fall. That's wicked as hell. That's wicked as hell. It's vanity, but that's the spirit of Absalom. Absalom felt because his father, now mind you, we know about David. We know how the Lord felt about David. He was a man after God's heart. Now, when you read the counsel that Jethro gave to Moses, he said, make sure you delegate, put people in place. You don't want to bear it all by yourself. So maybe David had some issues to where he wasn't properly delegating them tasks, right? And he needed somebody, as a part of his retinue, like, hey, David, we need to figure out, because there be people coming from city to city or whatever. Instead of Absalom being, now this is on flesh and blood, son. Instead of Absalom trying to help his daddy out, like, hey, dad, we should, you know what I'm saying, whatever, he take on his spirit. Man, I wish I was judge. I'll be smart enough that I know how to run it. So this is the thing. Watch this. Keep reading.
Verse 5.
And it was so that when any man came nigh to him to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him. And on this matter did Absalom to all Israel that came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel.
So we got to ask ourselves that Absalom, was he doing it for the people because he really wanted to help the people, or was he doing it because he wanted the notoriety? He wanted to be known and admired for his counsel. You understand? That's what we got to examine. Now jump down real quick. Jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10. But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, as soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet, then ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron.
Right. So he was trying to switch the kingdom. Go ahead.
And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything.
They what?
They knew not anything.
They knew not anything. And it, back to the Houston thing. Like the brothers that they had caught up in a mess, because it was two main culprits. And the brothers that they had caught up in a mess, majority of them was soldiers in 2023, which means back when the stuff was going on, them new brothers, MOV, all type of stuff. And they telling them like, man, you know, Cap you done, he like this and like that and da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? So he's molding their minds to be against leadership out the gate. So that's a telltale sign of a brother. He not sincere. He not trying to better the situation of the congregation. No, he wants the preeminence. So he's going to prey on the brothers that don't know a damn thing, because you know they simple enough not to examine and be in the spirit. You understand? They're impressionable, right? So Absalom, he was not genuine at all. He just wanted that seat of authority. It said in chapter 14, he was, you know, he had the long hair. He was handsome. He had the gift of gab. He felt like David's time was over with. It's my time to shine now. So he tried to uproot the kingdom from his own father. That's what envy would do. It's vanity. He just wanted that vainglory, nothing else. He didn't want the betterment of the nation of Israel. Now watch this. Go back to Ecclesiastes 5. So envy is a vain spirit, because when you envy a brother, it's not because you want better for your people or whatever the case may be. If that was the case, then you would cleave to the brother or aspire to be like the brother, follow his steps and learn from him. When you envy a brother, you try to make him look bad. You talk behind his back. You murmur. You understand? You try to spread a narrative. He ain't who y'all think he is and all that shit. And you desire to be in his seat. And you want people to look at you how they look at him, which is vain. Because who gives a damn? You understand? Don't nobody care. We just want to be edified. For real. It could have been, listen, if the Lord put the spirit on Kakeem to be the camp leader, then he would be up here doing this class right now. It would make no difference at all. You understand? But it is what it is. If you vain, you think like, oh, it's supposed to be me. I want that. It don't matter who it is. Every man in his best state is vanity. All right? So read what you got. Chapter 5, verse 13.
The book of Ecclesiastes.
It's taking way longer than what I thought it would. All right? All right, come on. Read it.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 13.
Come on.
There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely, riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt.
Because riches ain't for everybody. But there's something else that Solomon observed. It's people that got money and it's not good for them. Hope they get to Sirach 14 verse 3. For real, some people be having money and be doing the wrong damn things with it. And it's something that I've been meditating on a whole lot, really in the past couple of days. So I did mention it a couple times, right? About like schools, hospitals, like it's so much stuff to do for the nation. We literally don't have nothing. It was people that came out of slavery, talking about our people that came out of slavery and did 500 times more than you ever heard of anybody of our generation doing with no millionaires. You understand? No famous, no athletes and entertainers. And you see what I'm saying? We got the most money and absolutely nothing to show for it. You understand? So think about it like this. So you had a Black Wall Street, right? And they had all this stuff, and it got burned down. It got blew up. And it's many other towns like that. And we know the scriptures. It's because the Lord wasn't dealing with it. Cursing and vexation, whatever you put your hand to, it's going to be destroyed. We clearly, and it's obvious, on Bishop Nathaniel, the Spirit of the Lord. How do we know this? It's schools sprouting up all over the globe. You understand? Because of the spirit that's on this man to push the truth now. Think about it. So obviously we got access to the spirit and righteousness to we can do what our ancestors wasn't able to either do, period, or they did it and it got destroyed because it wasn't in the spirit. We got the spirit. We got the wisdom. But you know what else we got? Vanity. But I want this certain car, and I want this certain house, and I want this certain drip, and I want this certain... You ain't investing nothing for your damn people. You understand? At all. Because you worried about what you look like, what you smell like, what you eating at night. All of that more than all of the various things that your people, your nation need. Especially the kids. I'm mentioning in a second. Read what you got. Where we at?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 14 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
Riches are not comely for a niggard.
A what?
A niggard.
Can we get that real quick? Niggard. Riches are not comely for a niggard. Bring it out.
Niggard. A stingy or ungenerous person.
A let's, cause you know it be we be thinking the word is pronounced a certain way to you, like Cesar Borgia and Caesar. What? That ain't real. It's Cesare Borgia. We gotta look stuff up. Now, just play it. I want to hear what the Google boys say. How you really say it. Come on, press the blue button, bruh.
Niggard.
See, niggard. It ain't niggard. All right, niggard. We're not coming for a niggard. All right? All praise to God. Bless the Spirit told me to do that. All right? But anyway, a stingy or ungenerous person. All right? That's a niggard. Read that verse again.
Yes, sir. Riches are not comely for a niggard.
Riches is not good for a nigga that don't want to share. He don't got no charity. You understand? He don't want to spread his wealth abroad. He get wealth, he buy a Hellcat. He get wealth, he buy a 3-story house. She get wealth, she buy the damn the whole boutique out. You know what I'm saying? She got all the boots by what's the brand they be wearing? Hell no. Nah. She got money. She ain't gonna buy no Uggs. Louis Vuitton? So, I don't know. She gon' for real. Riches is not good for a nigga. Read.
And what should an envious man do with money?
What is they gonna do with their money? They not gonna do nothing for their people. You understand? And it's to their own hurt because God gonna judge them for that. All right, now go back to where we was at. Ecclesiastes 5.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 13. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely, riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt.
Come on.
But those riches perish by evil travail. And he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand.
So that person, that niggard, right? Before he'll get to a level of riches, but before his son can even have a chance to carry on or inherit it and do something with it, it perishes before then. the child support, the government come take it up, some niggas come take it up, lawsuits, something crazy, right? By evil travail of the parish, read.
As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand.
Get that in 1 Timothy 6, verse 7. This go for all of us. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 7.
Come on.
For we brought nothing into this world.
So you didn't come into this world with no damn brand name clothes and all of that. You didn't come into this world with no fancy car. You didn't come into this world with no big house. You didn't come into this world with the things of this world that you desire, that you spend your money on. You didn't come into this world with that. Come on.
And it is certain we can carry nothing out.
And the same way you came in, it's the same way you going out. So why would you invest so much energy and time and passion into something you cannot take with you? You understand? It's simple. The concept is simple, but the flesh is weak. For real. It's brothers and sisters right now ain't doing no studying, no fellowshipping, no congregating, not getting built up in the spirit at all in pursuit of something carnal. But they know the script. They know better. You understand? But the desire to get that earthly thing is so strong in them. They not traveling. They missing blitzes. You understand? They not coming to the school for the classes. They not on the Zoom. You understand? They not taking notes. They too busy taking opportunities from the white man. You understand? And guess what? Can't take none of that with you. All right? God don't give a damn about none of it. So watch this. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 9. We almost through. Ecclesiastes 6, verse 9.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 9.
Come on.
Better is the sight of the eyes.
Better is the sight of the eyes, meaning what's before you, which you possess. Read.
Than the wandering of the desire.
Than the wandering of the desire. So, like my wife, she had posted something the other day and had caught my attention. And shout out to Officer Jonah. He be in the spirit too. It be sometimes brothers and sisters will post like reminders on the new moon, like, hey, remember it's the new moon, y'all. Don't stop by the stove. And my wife, she had posted, she was like, no window shopping and all that. I'm like, she in the spirit. I would say with women more so, with brothers do it too. A lot of the time consuming on social media is not just you looking at funny videos or other people drama or whatever the case. A lot of the time, a lot of screen time on our phone be from window shopping or looking on other people's pages to see what they got, what they bought, and where they got it from or whatever the case may be, right? You wondering, right? You looking at all of the things that you don't got. God said better is the sight of your eyes, meaning what you can see in your living room, what you can see in your closet, than the wandering of the desire. By you trying to window shop and trying to indulge in the things that you haven't got. Read on. This Bible. Read.
This is also vanity and vexation of spirit.
Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 12. I'll show you why. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 verse 12.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 and verse 12.
Come on.
For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest. And the wandering.
The what?
And the wandering.
The wandering, read.
Of concupiscence.
Concupiscence is evil lust. Right? So the wandering of concupiscence or desire, read.
Doth undermine the simple mind.
Can we look up undermine real quick? I really like this definition. Undermine. Because this for brothers and sisters in the truth. All right. Number 2.
Undermine. Lessen the effectiveness, power, or ability of, especially gradually or insidiously.
So what that covetous spirit does is you constantly wondering about things in this world that you don't possess instead of being content with what you have. God said that it will undermine your mind, your spirit, right? It will weaken your mind, diminish your mind. Hit the arrow. It will damage your mind, spoil your mind, reduce your mind, disable your mind, cripple your mind, compromise. You understand? Drag through the mud, eat away at your spirit. That goes back to what we read earlier. Demons have forsaken me. Remember what he said about demons in Philemon. He said, demons, my fellow soldier. How you go from a soldier to a nigga in the world? He was undermined, having loved this present world. The world ate away at his spirit and subverted him back to the world. That's the danger of doing that. All right. Go to Sirach chapter 40. Matter of fact, read 1 Timothy 6 real quick. 1 Timothy 6 and 6.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
With godliness, with contentment is great gain. Being content with what you have. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
All right. Now watch this. Sirach 40 and 18.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach chapter 40, verse 18.
Go ahead.
To labor and to be content with that a man hath is a sweet life.
So the hell with what Andrew Tate said, you got to have 36 million to have a good life. To labor, to have a purpose, and you content with what you have, or with the abilities that God gave you, that's a sweet life. For real. And I ain't going to get too personal with my life, my testimony. I ain't going to let y'all know. It's vanity. But what I can say is I love my wife. I love my kids. I love being in this truth. I don't need $36 million. But if I was discontent, if I was carnal, you understand, it would be a different story. And I would probably treat my wife different, treat my kids different, treat y'all different. You understand? Get 2 Kings chapter 5. Let's start at verse, I think it's verse 10, about this brother, Elisha's servant. So it said, better is the sight of your eyes than the wandering of your desire. 2 Kings chapter 5 and verse 10. Yep. Read that.
2 Kings chapter 5 verse 10.
Go ahead.
And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was wroth, and went away, and said, Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me, and stand, and call on the name of the Lord his God, and strike his hand over the place.
So Naaman was a heathen, right? But with the reputation that Elisha had, he thought that Elisha was going to come out and do some great theatrical miracle to heal him. But he said, go dip yourself in that. So he got pissed that it wasn't what he envisioned how his healing would take place. Go ahead.
And recover the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it? How much rather then when he saith to thee, wash and be clean?
So his servants came and put some sense into him. Bro, that's vanity. Why you worried about how you telling you to get healed? Just get the healing. All right, read on.
Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan.
So he went and followed the directions. All right, after they talked some sense to him, he did what Elisha told him to do. Read.
According to the saying of the man of God. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. And he returned to the man of God, he and all his company, and came and stood before him, and he said, Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, As the Lord liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. And Naaman said, Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules, burden of earth?
All right, so what's happening is Naaman is trying to reward Elisha for the miracle of, you know what I'm saying, him telling him what to do to be healed or whatever. So he's trying to reward Elisha for that. But I found the scripture I wanted. I don't want to divert, but I got to get it before I forget it again. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 6. So this is dealing with why it's vain to wonder beyond what you have in terms of desiring, you know what I'm saying, outside of what you have, right? Because you don't know what all come with it. Like, think about it. If $36 million hit your account tomorrow, not even that, but just the burden of, okay, I'm a part of Israel United in Christ. Do I tell people? Do I not tell people? Do I? You know what I'm saying? And just think about the burden of you bearing that amount of money now. You still got worldly family. You know what I'm saying? You still got, you really don't know what come with that. You would probably much rather be somebody that don't nobody ask for nothing at all. For real. So watch this. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 6.
Watch this.
Better is an handful with quietness.
Better is a handful with quietness. A little something with quietness, with peace. You ain't got people begging you for everything, always asking you for something, you know what I'm saying? You need it here and there and everywhere. You got enough for you and your family, and you quiet, you peaceful. Go ahead.
Then both the hands full with travail and vexation
but
of
both
spirit.
hands full, meaning you got a double portion of what the average man got. You rich, but you got vexation of spirit. Why? You got travail. Why? Because all the stuff that come with it. Everybody want to steal from you, the fakes and snakes around you, and you know what I'm saying? People pretending to love you, and that, man, you don't know what all come with that. Chill out. The Bible also say that he hinder some of us from sinning through want, meaning through lack. Some of you brothers, you make 40, 50,000 a year talking about you battling with lust. Just imagine you had 150,000. The car you gonna drive, the cologne you gonna buy in, the places you gonna eat at, right, the women you gonna come across. You know what I'm saying? Your money gonna take you down the path of adultery. If you struggling with that when you broke, just imagine.
He upgrading everything then.
Just imagine. Yeah. All right, where we at? Go back to 2 Kings chapter 5. So that's what scripture came on my. I thought it was in chapter 7, but it was in chapter 4. All right, read that. 2 Kings 5. What the verse we left off at? All right.
2 Kings chapter 5 and verse 17.
We almost done, y'all. Come on.
And Naaman said, Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules burden of earth? For thy servant would henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto the Lord. In this thing the Lord pardoned thy servant.
All right, jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20. But Gehazi, or Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman, this Syrian, in not receiving at his hands that which he brought.
Now that which he brought is verse 17. Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given thy servant 2 mules? I will offer you the burnt burnt sacrifice, right? He got things that he offering. You understand? Resources. So Gehazi, remember Elisha turned it down. So Gehazi like, wait a minute. Elisha spared him. Read.
But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him.
But I'm gonna be smart. And because he was trying to give it anyway. Is it a sin if he was trying to give it? So I'm gonna go and get me some. Read.
So Gehazi followed after Naaman. And when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, Is all well?
Shalom, you good? Read.
And he said, All is well. My master have sent me.
So again, vanity will make you lie. So Gehazi convinced himself in his mind that it wasn't nothing wrong what he was doing, but as he's doing it, he's already lying. You understand? So it's already off. So he like, look, my master have sent me. Elisha sent me. Read.
Saying, Behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments.
Right. So we got it didn't hit his mind in the moment, but then he thought like, damn, we got 2 young brothers that need some clothes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we need that. Come on with it. Read.
And Naaman said, Be content. Take 2 talents. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garments and laid them upon 2 of his servants. And they bare them before him.
So Naaman gave him what he asked for. Read.
And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed.
So he put it up. Read.
But he went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi?
Gehazi, where you been at? Read.
And he said, Thy servant went no whither.
I ain't go nowhere. I've been chilling. Read.
And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee? When the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee?
Damn.
Is it a time to receive?
So listen, this the crazy part about it. And a lot of y'all underestimate, you know what I'm saying, the polar leadership that y'all got here. But Elisha, this was a man who did all type of miracles, you know what I'm saying? Had spiritual power, a double portion of Elijah's spirit. And Gehazi underestimated him. He like, if I'm doing something out of his sight, then it's out of his sight. Elisha revealing unto him like, no, my heart was with you. My presence was with you when he got down from the horse to give you that. I was there in the spirit. Jeez, that's scary. Cause you don't know what these leaders, you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine you going to Bishop like, what you was doing last Friday night? Studying. Was not my heart with you when you was on Pornhub? For real, you don't know. You don't know. But anyway, go ahead.
Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments?
You know that's what happened with the brother, right? Yeah.
I know.
Bishop said, hey, come by later on. We gonna judge some in the spirit. That's crazy.
I was there.
Yeah. That's crazy. Come on.
Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants?
That's a heavy verse. Because some of y'all may think it's time for that. Now, and it's true, it's time to get your money up, get you some land, get your, you know what I'm saying, your wardrobe together, and you'll mask it. Like, yeah, we got to prepare for the famine. You know what I'm saying? That ain't famine food that you ain't gonna need that brand, that name brand in the you know what I'm saying? That ain't what you really into. That ain't what you got going on. A lot of people, I'm telling you, and it can happen to any one of us because we all in this flesh. If you're not in the spirit, you can get caught up in vanity. Read the things that this world has to offer. Come on.
The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence, a leper as white as snow.
So he turned that man white, all right, for his covetousness. Now go back to go to Ecclesiastes 12 now.
He said to his seed too.
Yep. So, you know. The wandering of his desire. You gotta think, you the right hand man of the most spiritual prophet walking the earth. And you worried about some damn 2 talents of silver and 2 new outfits. Said, you know what? Since you want to act greedy like the white man, I'm gonna turn your hair white. But nah, I don't know. Ecclesiastes 12 and 12.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 12.
Come on.
And further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh.
And this is another form of vanity. So we talked about material things. We talked about envy, right? The vainglory, preeminence, all of this stuff, right? But it can also be in the form of knowledge. Watch this. Get Malachi 2 and 12. Malachi chapter 2, verse 12.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
The Lord will cut off the man that doeth this, the master and the scholar.
The what?
The master and the scholar.
The master and the scholar. Now, what he going in? He going in an interracial marriage, right? And like you see with a lot of our people, a lot of these masters and scholars, these rich people, they get so educated that they become above the black woman and go outside of their race. So guys, I'm going to cut off the man that does this. So, but the point that I want out of that is that Israel has scholars. You have people that'll devote themselves to reading all type of books and garnering all types of information, having all type of research and knowledge, and you understand. But it's not for the purpose of the Lord. You understand? It's for you to be known for knowing that, for you to be recognized as a scholar. You ain't gonna utilize none of that information for the betterment of your people, but for the sake of people knowing that you know what you know. Get that real quick in John chapter 3, verse 1. This is what happened to the Pharisees during the time of Christ. John 3, verse 1.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 1.
Go ahead.
There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night.
So he was a Pharisee, a ruler of the Jews. Read verse 10.
Verse 10. Jesus answered and said unto him, Art thou a master of Israel?
A what?
A master of Israel.
So a master was in the same type of notoriety bracket as a scholar. We just read in Malachi 2. So Nicodemus was a master. He was a man of much knowledge to the point where he was a ruler of the Jews. But he couldn't even comprehend what the hell Christ was saying. He said, Art thou a master of Israel? Read.
And knowest not these things?
You don't know nothing about the Spirit at all. Now watch this. Go to chapter 12, verse 42. Chapter 12, verse 42. This was the spirit on those masters and scholars during that time. Read that.
John chapter 12 and verse 42.
Come on.
Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him. But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue. For they love the praise of men.
They did what?
For they love the praise of men more than the praise of God.
That's the problems. And some people get their spirit. They think because it's scholastic that it's innocent. It's, I ain't trying to run the money up. I ain't trying to look like this or look like that or whatever. I'm just smart. I just listen. If you doing it for the wrong, for vainglory, is vanity. You understand? The Lord is not dealing with that. If you gonna learn some stuff, Everything, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of the stuff that I be bringing out, majority of the time, I just learned it. That's my spirit though. Like when I learn some stuff, I want y'all to know it too. So I turned it into a class. For real. Some people have that spirit, they labor for themselves. They wise to themselves because they want the will. They want to be the guru and all of that. That's vain. You love the praise of men. If you love the praise of God, then you wouldn't, what did it say? You catch a fish for a man, you feed him for a day. You teach a man how to fish. Feed him for a lifetime. Now watch this. Go back to Ecclesiastes 12, read verse 13.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
So Solomon said, look, I built pools, vineyards, buildings, servants, houses. I had it all, done it all. I read all the books. I got all the knowledge. You understand, whether it be biological or philosophical, whatever. I got all the knowledge, the wisdom. I done done everything under the sun. Let us hear the conclusion. Read.
Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
The only thing that truly matters is God's wisdom, God's laws. That's it. Why? Read.
For God shall bring every into judgment.
He's going to bring every core into judgment.
Every work into judgment.
Every strong drink into judgment.
For God shall bring every work into judgment.
God don't give a damn what you've done to win the hearts of men. What you've done to be glorified by men. He don't give a damn. He gonna judge you by every work that you've done. Watch this.
With every secret thing.
With what?
With every secret thing.
So the stuff that you was able to withhold from man. While man was thinking you was this brilliant, excellent, rich, smart, whatever. You understand? Meanwhile, you was breaking God's laws in secret. Read.
Whether it be good or whether it be evil.
That's what you need to be worried about. God is going to judge you. You understand? So don't be caught up in vain things, stuff for this world or this life or whatever. You need to be worried about doing what it takes to be found worthy of the afterlife. You understand? Get that real quick. Proverbs chapter 15. Proverbs 15 verse 24. Just got a couple more scriptures.
Proverbs chapter 15 verse 24.
Come on.
The way of life is above to the wise.
The way of life is above to the wise. If you wise, your way of life is not according to this. You don't give a damn about this world. You understand? Your way of life is above. Read.
That he may depart from hell beneath.
Because you trying to get up out of here. You not worried about obtaining all of this. This is hell. It's literally going to become hell. Literally. It's hell right now as in captivity, and it's going to become the lake of fire. Everything in it. What you laboring hard for, you missing class for, you missing blitzes for, all of that, it's going to burn. But if you wise, you're going to do everything in your power, everything that you're capable of to store up treasures in heaven. You understand? And do it, utilize your resources that God blessed you with to gather your people together so we can get up out of here, so we can depart from this hell. You understand? If you really love and care about your people, that's what you'll be dedicating your life to. It's so many things that's needed, bro. Especially with, I'm telling you, I be looking at videos and stuff about stuff that be going on in schools, preschool, kindergarten, all the way up to high school. And as an individual, it's already established, like my kids, they homeschooled or whatever. I know my kids are never, God forbid, going to be in that situation to go to a public school, but that's vain. That don't matter. What about the rest of your damn Israelite brothers and sisters? They got kids going to these wicked ass schools. Emmanuel, what are you going to do about it? You understand? What are we laboring for, putting in place to stop the sending our schools to this school to prison school to sexy red pipeline? That's what you send your daughter to school. That's a school to sexy red pipeline. You send your son to school. That's a school to King Von pipeline. For real. Like, what are we doing about this shit? Like, bro, it's so much. Just on that subject alone, it's so much. Let's not get started with the medical field. Let's not get started with food. You know what I'm saying? The nutritional side. Let's not. It's too much. It's too much to do. Too much to learn. Too much to invest in. To be worried about your vain life. All right, where we at? Colossians 3:1. Yeah, almost. Colossians 3 verse 1.
The book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 1.
Come on.
If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which...
We can't even get a damn P2K meeting on a consistent basis. And we talking about we the prophets of the Lord and all this and this and that. For real, we can't even get our sons together outside of the Sabbath to build them or build camaraderie with them and teach them how to be a man in Christ. We can't even do that consistently. We are a long way from the kingdom. But what are you doing? What am I doing while the kids are not getting built up as they should? Netflix and chilling? Shopping? You understand? What are we doing? What are we doing? Colossians 3:1.
Colossians chapter 3 verse 1.
Uh-huh.
If ye then be risen with Christ,
if you be repented, read.
Seek those things which are above.
Seek what's above. What's that? Wisdom of Solomon 9:17 real quick. Read that real quick.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and verse 17.
Come on.
And thy counsel who hath known, except thou give wisdom and send thy Holy Spirit from above.
From where?
From above.
That's the thing we need to be seeking from above. The spirit, the wisdom. Go back to Colossians 3.
Colossians chapter 3 verse 1.
There's nothing that anything in this world, the world does not have that to offer. It has vacation places. It has nice cars. It has resorts. It has spas. It has devices. You understand? Things that go vroom vroom. But it can't give you no wisdom. It can't give you the Holy Spirit. You understand? It can't do it. So what did Christ tell us? Read that.
If ye then be risen with Christ,
if you be repented,
seek those things which are above.
Seek wisdom. Come on.
Where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God.
It's not in this world. Read.
Set your affection on things above.
Set your affection, your mind, your desire on things above. Read.
Not on things of the earth.
Not on things of the earth. Why? Because there is vanity. Like Solomon said, it's all vanity. Everything. Read.
For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in God.
We dead to this world. You understand? Our life is hid with Christ. Meaning, our glory is not in this world, y'all. It's not, it doth not yet appear. You understand? So we supposed to be laboring to bring that forth. We only gonna get the glory. We only gonna get our life when Christ show back up. The kingdom is within us. It don't come with observation. So we gotta labor to bring that forth. So how is it that you laboring for the glory that pertains to this world if you're supposed to believe that your life is hid with Christ and you got to labor to make that thing manifest? If you really believe that, then you will be laboring to make it manifest. But we caught up in vain things. Devil said that's his favorite sin.
Thy life shall appear. Then shall ye also appear with him in glory.
Go to Philippians 2 verse 5.
The book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, who, being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God.
Why? Because he is the heir of God. God appointed all things for him to inherit. Go ahead.
But made himself of no reputation.
So we had all that spiritual power, knowing that he is the Son of God, and our power, right? He came knowing that and made himself of no reputation.
And took upon him the form of a servant.
Matter of fact, he was telling people, hey, don't tell nobody who did this. And they're going to do it anyway. They vain. You know what I'm saying? But he took on the form of a servant. Read.
And was made in the likeness of men.
In order for him to take on the form of a servant, he cannot become one that everybody wanted to serve. So he had to keep his rep low. He had to move a certain way. The opposite of how brothers be moving, trying to be seen. Always want to be recognized by earthly eyes. Christ didn't move like that. Ain't that your Messiah? Ain't that your who you supposed to be following his steps? Read.
And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross.
So you telling me Jesus Christ never knew what it felt like to have a nice lavish house? He never knew what it felt like to have the most beautiful wife in the country. He never knew what it was like to have the nicest chariot. You know what I'm saying? Say he never knew what he never experienced the lavishness of what the world had to offer. Was it not offered unto him? Yes, it was. Did he have power to pursue it? Yes, he did. Did he? Hell no. Read on.
Wherefore, God also hath highly exalted him.
So for him living that way, when he was in the world, God exalted him. Go ahead.
And given him a name which is above every name.
So if you don't aspire for that in this world, God will give you that in heaven. You see that? You so worried about having a name and a status in the world, and you want the preeminence and the vainglory. That's how you lose it in the kingdom to come. But if you don't move like that, you don't operate like that, that's how you gain it in the kingdom to come, which is eternal. You understand? Just imagine you move, you in the spirit of vainglory think about it. It's people that left, they're bishops now. Right? They have the title of bishops and deacons and elders and all. They have their own thing. Right? But they really don't got shit. They not going to get the kingdom unless they repent. You understand? They gave up everything for that. To be a bishop with 200 views in 2 months. You can't make this up. Read on.
Verse 10. That at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth.
So Christ was seeking that which was above. He wasn't worried about it. He said, look, this ain't my kingdom. If this was my kingdom, my servants would fight. You understand? For real. He knew that world ain't had nothing to do with him. He was there to save souls. That was it. We are here for the same. We're not here for any different purpose than the one that Christ had. I hope y'all understand that. We're not here for any different purpose than what Christ had. So don't think you're the brother. Yeah, I was chosen to be Joseph of Arimathea. I'm going to be rich and be in the background. That's my life. All right. Good luck with that. Good luck. All right. Hebrews 11:24. Two more scriptures. Hebrews 11:24.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
And what came with that? land rights, fame. Yeah. But it said by faith, he refused that. Read on.
Choosing rap for a season.
For what?
For a season.
That's the thing, brothers. It's vain. It's temporary. It's for a season. That's why Solomon, this is vexation of spirit. I'm dying right now. I spent all these years laboring and learning this and getting this and trying to enjoy it, and I'm finna die. And this idiot finna... you know what I'm saying? He was vexed. The pleasures of sin for a season. His brothers and sisters dropping that, leaving the truth as we speak, because they want a piece of that OnlyFans money. You know what I'm saying? They want to experience the content creator lifestyle. You sit behind your computer desk and make $100,000 a week. It's crazy, and that sounds good, don't it? You can get with the Andrew Tate was talking about at 36. Boy, Christ gonna fry your damn camera, your account, yo, boy. All that's gonna perish before Christ's return. For real. A lot of these people that's relevant and all that and making their life so appealing, all I do is this and this, and I make $40,000 a week. That's finna end real soon. All right, read on though.
Verse 26.
For a season. Read.
Verse 26. Esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt.
With the reproach of Christ, did that have anything to do with the earth that Moses was walking? I'm asking. Did it have anything to do with the earth that Moses was walking? No. Moses didn't even enter into the promised land. You understand? But he esteemed the reproach of Christ, meaning him bearing that reproach for doing what he did, letting his people go. He knew that above he was running up a stock. He knew. Moses went stupid. Moses was spiritual. He knew that he was investing treasures in heaven. And that's much more important than living lavishly in Egypt while my people suffering. Go ahead.
For he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
He had respect unto the fact that the saints, the children of God, that's exactly what we are. We're the children of God. We pilgrims in this earth. You understand? The things prepared for us is not in this world. We're not even from here. You understand? Last scripture, James 5. James chapter 5, verse 1.
The book of James, chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men. Weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you.
Read.
Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten.
All your garments, moth-eaten. All your fresh little clothes, moth-eaten. Go ahead.
Your gold and silver is cankered.
All your little money, cankered. Read.
And the rest of them shall be a witness against you.
And it's going to be a witness against you. Read.
And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days.
You have heaped treasure together for the last days. That's some of you brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth.
Right, the people that you finessing to get your little wealth that you got, I hear them. They're crying out to me and I hear them. Go ahead.
And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth.
You have what?
Ye have
no kingdom. Go ahead.
And been wanton.
Been wanton, meaning like what Andrew Tate was saying. He lived like every day is long patience. I know every day it's a struggle. You checking social media, you seeing your class, people you graduated with, got all type of nice things. You like, I can't have it. Like, I was smarter than him. I hustle harder than him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I get that year card too. For real. I know. Read on.
Until he received the early and the latter rain.
So we supposed to take on the spirit of a husbandman, a farmer who would have long patience, knowing like that rain gonna come. I done tilled, I done sowed, that rain gonna come. All right? That's how we gotta be towards the kingdom. It's gonna come. We gotta keep laboring, keep pushing. Don't be worried about all the things of this world we could be doing, we could be spending our time getting. I'm telling you, can't let your mind go there like, damn. I mean, such and such is going hard. It ain't even like I'm the camp leader or nothing. Like, I can duck off for a little bit and, you know what I'm saying? Like, tour the world, like, go out, you know what I'm saying? Like, this stuff be in your mind. For real. Bucket list. Shit, nobody in this truth have no damn bucket list, man. For real. To hell with this damn world. All right, read on.
Verse 8. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
The coming of the Lord draweth nigh. So, vanity, I'm telling you, that's Satan's favorite sin. Because vanity, and how you impatient for the Lord's coming, right? You want to get this, you want to get that, and you will lose charity for your neighbor. You understand? You will compromise and say, no. Everybody got a little breaking point. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to themselves, they will. When it comes to their reputation, when it comes to their belongings, when it comes to this or that, they will say the hell with their brother or sister. And you have been in this truth 10 years, 20 years, and then learned this and been through this and been through that, just for that to be your trial. And you fail and you die forever. For real. So we gotta overcome this sin of vanity. It's not talked about a lot. It's pride, but in a different type of, it's levels. It can go under or over pride. It's subtle. For real, you know them things be like your ex brother, why you do that? You be like, because I wanted to. Is it a sin? Well, it is vanity. Say said that's his favorite sin. So I'm telling you, brothers, y'all shouldn't be doing nothing where it's like, what was that about? Like, because I wanted to. Like, cut it out. All right, we supposed to be spiritual. But anyway, it was when y'all was edified. Y'all got some out of that class. It went way longer than what I thought it was going to be. Because I don't got that many scriptures to do it. And then I meant to have some more clips and all that. But it was when y'all was edified. Shalom, most of that Christ.
What is the nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word, His word, His word, His word.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.